and welcome to another very interesting Mercedes Dialogue. My name is Frisia, and if you have been following our social media, then you know exactly who we are in conversation with today. I have with me Mr. Santosh Iyer. He is the Vice President Sales and Marketing here at Mercedes-Benz, and India's first DTM racer, Arjun Maini. We're going to check if we have Arjun on the line with us. A lot of you who have been following Arjun's story, you would know that he is coming in live right now from Germany. There he is. Hi, how are you?
All good.
All right, so it looks like the internet gods are favoring us.
Yeah.
And we can have this conversation. So I'm not going to waste any time. These are questions, Santosh and Arjun, these are questions that we received from all our different social media handles. So we're talking Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everything, LinkedIn. And we had a lot of questions that did come in. We only have a limited amount of time, so we're going to try and answer as many questions as possible within this little time frame that we do have. So the first question that we have, and Santosh, this one is for you. This is from Ruchin. And let's see what Ruchin has to say. Could we scroll down, please? So Ruchin has asked that, this one is, okay, we're going to skip Ruchin's question over here. And can we go on to the next question? This is from Abhinav. This is from Abhinav Mohapatra, who has asked, are the GLC 43 and the A35 the only AMG models that will be locally produced here in India? Will we see more CKD models in Pune, considering the addition of the E63 and the E53, making the performance cars more robust?
Well, let me say that apart from the GLC 43 and the A35, we also have the GLA 35 AMG. So we have 3 locally produced AMGs. But when it comes to the 53 and the 63, we call them the purist cars. The 63 has a one-man, one-engine concept where an engineer actually builds the engine, he puts his signature on this car. And that's, the genetics are from Affaltabad. Okay. And we would like to keep it in Affaltabad. We would like to get the fully imported units from there. So in the future itself, we can confirm that there will be no localization on the 53 and the 63, but we will look out for opportunities below in the 43 and the 35 segments.
Well, after all, authenticity is the name of the game. This is what I love about our dialogue sessions. You get to know these little nuances and these little things about Mercedes you wouldn't have known if you weren't a fanatic. So our next question has come from Gaurav, and Gaurav is saying speed is okay. However, how safe are these new AMGs? I'd like to ask this question to you, and then I'd like to throw it to Arjun as well.
Well, safety, I think we are best in class. We have 7 airbags, including a knee airbag in the AMGs that we have launched today, both the E53 and the E63 AMG. So I think that speaks a lot. Apart from this, I think all the standard safety features like pre-save, some radar assisted features, that's all there in the car. So I think we don't compromise on safety at all, and that's also been an hallmark for the brand. So be rest assured. But of course, the driver also needs to follow the law, the legislation, and drive safely. That's all we would recommend. But these cars are always there for a spin, and you can enjoy them with peace of mind.
It's actually very true. I mean, one does get tempted to go a little bit into the speed, but then you slowly do realize that you are in safe hands as well. Arjun, I wanted to ask you if you could answer this one as well.
Yeah, I mean, from when I drove, safety-wise, it felt very under control all the time. So, it was at no point did I feel that the car was going to do something that would be dangerous. And so it has really good brakes, so if there's an emergency you can stop it really quickly. The traction control works fantastic, so when you have it on, there's really no chance of losing the car on there. And even when I was driving at a really high speed, the driving was quite smooth. It was a smooth ride. It was not, you couldn't feel the craziness and the vibrations that you can usually feel at those speeds. So everything was always under control, and so in my opinion, it was great, even safety-wise.
And ladies and gentlemen, I have to quickly tell them that Arjun's actually talking from a very first-hand experience. Just yesterday, he drove the E63 on the Autobahn, and we saw a video of that where he did touch 300. And do you want to quickly tell our audience what that also felt like?
So much power straight away, and yeah, it got up to 300 really quickly. So it felt great, and like I said before, it was not edgy, so it felt very under controlled. You could still feel the sensation of the speed, but you very much felt in control of the car. So this was great.
All right, we have another very interesting question, and this one has very specifically come for you, Arjun. And I think you're going to be able to guess who went and asked you this one. Who do you think is faster, you or your brother? No guesses who asked this question to you.
Of course it's Kush. I'm going to say me. No. He's a really quick driver as well. And I hope to race against him someday in a similar series. And yeah, I'm going to say me just for the sake of it, but no, I think he's every bit as quick as me, and I just hope to race him soon.
Now that would be an interesting race to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Look forward for that in India maybe.
Yes, right here in India. Hopefully, Arjun, we get to experience that moment with both the brothers coming and competing. So the next question that has come in, this is from our LinkedIn handle, and this is a question that's come in from Syed Siraj. And Santosh, he's asking, with the blanket cover of the pandemic that is over the current market, how did Mercedes India manage to achieve a 65% sales growth? And what's the magic mantra over there?
Well, I think these are tough times for sure, and I think as rightly mentioned by Siraj, these are tough times for all of us. But our belief is strong brands do very well during tough times, you know, and that it's also because the love for Mercedes-Benz brand in India is there. We have been in India for 25 years. The consumers love it, and to top that, I think what we did is we went ahead with all the product launches. So we did some close to 10 product launches this year now, this being the latest two that you see right behind us. And I think products excite the market, they excite consumers. With the right product, with a fantastic dealer network that we have, and always trying to see what we can do in terms of cost of ownership, or be it in terms of other solutions. I think consumers have preferred our brand over whatever options are available. The other big game changer we introduced last year was on the connectivity side. So frankly, all Mercedes-Benz cars are now connected. You know, the entire MBUX interface, that really is again something very unique to us. And also during pandemic, we kept our shop open, not literally because dealerships were closed, but we kept it open with online sales. So today we have an online platform where a customer can go check out, he can do online consulting, concierge services, and he books a car. So during, on an average now, our online sales is close to 20%. And during the pandemic, which is April and May, the second wave, it went up to 35%. So a lot of customers really use an online platform to communicate with us and also book cars. And that actually explains the sales results also for H1. So, and we hope the customers continue to love us and we continue to make new sales records.
Well, since we are talking about these two beasts of beauty, you know, sometimes I can't make up my mind which one is which, and they're this perfect combination of both. But these are, I'm also simultaneously taking questions that are coming in live. So any of you that have tuned in and there is something that you would like to ask us, if we do like your question, it will come straight to me. So you can keep those questions going in live as well. And since we are talking about the E63 and the E53 over here, this is something that has come in from Akansha Alok. And she is asking, what is the 10-digit difference between them?
So basically the nomenclatures of these cars are based on the power output. So for example, an E63 delivers close to 612 horsepower, and basically that's why it gets the 63 nomenclature. And similarly, there is in the region of 450 odd horsepower for the 53. So there is a global standard to name 53s or 63s based on the power output of the engines. And that's the reason of these two separate nomenclatures for these cars.
All right.
And that was a technical one.
Well, you definitely know that you can hit those speeds much faster then.
In simple mind, yes.
In simple minds, yeah. Well, here it looks like we have a question that's coming from a racing aspirant, and this is Rishabh who is asking this question to Arjun. Arjun, could you tell us about your journey from karting to single-seater formula racing? And can you also explain the path for an Indian kid who can go on and achieve this kind of dream? And there's a second part to this question as well. I think what he's most interested in is that how can one go about with sponsorships especially, so that one can come closer to achieving their dream?
Yeah, okay. So obviously for me, I started off karting. I got exposed to it very quickly. And I started in the national championship. So if you're somebody from India, I think it's a perfect place to start in the national karting championship. Then, of course, if you're really good and you're performing well, you have to move up the ranks. So you move up to first around Asia and then eventually to Europe. And around when you turn quite young, but around 15 or 16 is the right time to move into Formula cars racing or any type of full car racing. And that's what I did. I moved up to the Formula BMW, British Formula 4 stayed after, where I had a close fight with a current F1 driver, George Russell, and I just missed out on the championship to him. And then, of course, I had race wins in GP3, and I moved up to Formula 2 to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So far, and of course now with DTM, with Mercedes AMG. So, I mean, it's been a long career so far, even though I'm still quite young, but hard to explain it all in such a short amount of time. But in terms of the question for the sponsorship, I think first you just got to get into the karting scene or any racing scene and work on that. And if you feel you're doing good, then of course you have to be good in every area in racing. And this is one thing that's very important. You have to be really good on track, but also very good in your fitness, your mental, your preparation, your understanding of the cars, and of course trying to raise sponsorship, which is not an easy task to do, but it's part of it. So I would say first and foremost is you have to go and get some local coaching at a karting track and start karting, and then do your first race, and then you can try to get for sponsorships.
Well, I hope that, Rishabh, this can set you on your path to hopefully taking up racing professionally. The next one, Santosh, I have is for you, and this has come from Sonali. And she's asking that what is the top speed of the all-new AMG E53, the 4MATIC, of course, and the E63 that we have got. And if you could tell us about any new features that are included in these 2021 variants.
Well, the top speed from a legal perspective, it's of course 240, 260. But you know, with the E63 AMG, we have a speed delimiting feature, where you can go in excess of 300. Actually, Arjun demonstrated that in the Autobahn. We have some media friends who tried this car out recently on a track, and it went beyond 300. So I think it's also, you can push this car, and but we will advise one to be safe while using these cars. If you want to look at 0 to 100, I would say the E53 does that in 4.5 seconds sprint, and the E63 does that in 3.4 seconds. So I think that's again quite a benchmark, quite fast and quick when it comes to speed and the thrill as such. Features, there is nothing to compare with the predecessor, because E53 is the first time we are launching that car in India. And the E63, of course, there was a predecessor car, but there are plenty. Actually, I would just encourage you to go online just now, check many of them. But something that's very, very close to my heart is something called the Track Pace. So you can download an AMG Track Pace app along with the car. You can actually monitor all your paces, all the runs that you do, all the laps that you do. You can share it with friends on social, and of course it helps you to better your performance, and it also gives you a lot of statistics like what you get out of a V-Box, and that's available on a E63 AMG asset. So that's one highlight, you can say, apart from many others that we have loaded in this car.
I have to tell you that actually if Santosh had to sit and list all the highlights, our 1 hour would be over and it would be done. So we would best advise you that you go onto the website, it's updated, you can take a look, and everything is over there. Well, it looks like people can't get enough of the AMG. And the next one that I have has come in over here for you. And what they're saying is, is there any update on the new SL AMG? And the GLE facelift, is there one on the cards? Kind of want the interior of the new S-Class in the GLE.
Wow.
So this guy's already sitting and designing his own Mercedes cars.
Yeah, but that's a good input. I will definitely pass.
Harsh.
Maybe we pass this on to Gordon Wagner, who is our head of design. The GLE facelift, there is nothing on the anvil, at least for the next 1.5 years. So basically, please go ahead and buy the current GLE, I can assure you. S-Class, of course, is a benchmark. And whatever comes in the S-Class generally comes in other models over a period of time. So that has been the history and tradition of the car itself. So we will see what features we can surely bring into the GLE whenever we plan the next model facelift. That comes up. Is there anything else I missed out in answering him? Or
No,
pretty much.
No.
Okay.
His designing questions have been answered.
Thanks.
Well, the next one that we have, and I think that this is something that is very important. It's close to my heart, and I know that it's close to everyone here at Mercedes-Benz India as well. And this has come from 2 doctors, and so we have combined both of these over here. Dr. Alok Drolia and on Twitter, as well as Ms. is asking that are both of you vaccinated? And you could ask if all 3 of us are vaccinated. I'm vaccinated as well. And do you want to also tell them about everybody being vaccinated?
Yeah, I think personally, yes, for me, I have taken the first shot. I think the second one is due next week. So you need the 3-month gap as such. But what we have done is also we have ensured all our colleagues in Mercedes-Benz India, we have 100% vaccinated. Not only colleagues, but even our contractual staff that works in the plant, also families. Now that's the current drive which is happening. Then we extended this also to our dealer network. So frankly, I'm quite proud to say that 95% of our dealer network is vaccinated, and that's around 4,500 odd people, be it sales, be it service, consumer facing, non-consumer facing staff. So that's priority number 1, and I'm happy somebody asked such question.
Arjun, I know that you've been away from the country for a while, but have you managed to get vaccinated in Germany?
No, I haven't yet, and I think it's been difficult to do that here. But we're taking all precautions. I get my COVID tests done, I think 2 or 3 times a week. I've lost count on how many I get. So we take all precautions, and I'm following all the regulations and all the rules, and I'm making sure I'm safe and healthy. So far, I've not had an issue. But of course, it would be great to get vaccinated.
Yes, but I can obviously understand you are in another country right now, so I'm sure that it's not a very easy and simple thing for one to do, but we're glad to know that you are safe. The next question that I have, Arjun, is actually for you. And Arjun is asking that, Kashish is asking, which race are you most looking forward to in the DTM season?
Oh, I was really looking forward to the Norris Ring, which has been postponed now for now because I think for COVID regulations, because they can't have fans. So I think apart from this, I'm looking forward to the next one next week in Lausitzring, because we're going to use half the track is going to be an oval layout. So it's going to be a half NASCAR style race and then a half full street circuit race. So I think this is interesting. I don't think it's been done like this before. So this should be quite an interesting thing. So I think if you want to have a look to check out the Lausitzring race next weekend, I think it's going to be a new thing for everyone, and I think it's going to be really exciting.
All right, so if you want to catch the next race, it's up very, very soon, everyone, and you can watch him on that one. We're going to go and switch on to some live questions that have been coming in over here as well. And this one is for you, Santosh, where Sean is asking, are there any plans for a production V12 AMG in the future?
I think I already answered. The 63 and the 53 won't come as such. Yeah.
We can even move on the prompter over here, because this one has been answered as well. And we've got another one that has come in. I think we've also covered about how you have coped with the demand and supply because of COVID as well. Let's see, we have another question over here that has come in for Arjun. And I think this is something, the question is from a handle called Keep Calm and Carry On. What's the fastest that you have ever driven one of your cars, and where was it?
Well, on the road, the fastest I've driven was the E63S yesterday. When we hit 300. So that's the fastest I've been on the road. Obviously on the track, it's a different case. I reached 335 at Le Mans. But yeah, yesterday was the fastest I've been on the road, which was cool. And I think there was room for more in the car if I had not reached the traffic. So yeah, this was cool.
Well, hopefully, maybe at some point our viewers might also get to see that video of him touching those speeds over there. Yeah. Well, the next one that we have is from Ali. And Ali is asking, I will wait till you guys put the F1 power unit in the AMG. Are you planning to do that soon? Because I want to feel like Hamilton.
Yes, I think there is a project back in Germany. It's called the AMG 1, Project 1, where they are putting an F1, they are contemplating or they are looking into it. At least that's what. So maybe if something comes up, we will reach out to Ali.
And let him know that it's done and ready for you to race. Let's see if this has come in, and it's from Shreyank. Shreyank is asking, what's one major difference in consumer habits observed by luxury car owners in India versus the rest of the world? That's actually kind of interesting. Is there a difference?
I think more or less the consumers are very mature across India or worldwide for these cars. But one big difference I can say is the Indian consumers are much more demanding from the brand. And I think it's obvious because due to the taxation, the cars are very expensive in India. And from that perspective, they also demand the best from the brand. So they are demanding, they are not as forgiving, you can say, compared to some of the European counterparts or maybe the other parts of the world. But and what we try and do is we try and be accessible, in terms of social media or even the entire top management team, the leadership team, all of us are accessible to customers if they need support. Because frankly, these are cars and it can go wrong. It should be naive for me to say that, all our cars spotless, seamless, nothing goes wrong. There can be, these are engineering goods and sometimes there are issues. But how do we solve them? How do we come back to that? I think that's where lies, the key thing. So to take care of customers, I think you need to be much more involved in India because I have not seen my counterparts in other markets being so involved on some of these topics. So that's there. It's quite demanding market, but we love that. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of us also, we treat our cars like our babies. And, we get so involved
we
get so emotionally involved with them. And in India, everything is all about a one-on-one relationship.
That's true. That's true.
I don't want to talk to a computer. I want to talk to a human being. And Mercedes always makes sure that they have someone on call waiting for you. Well, we've got a question for Arjun over here, and this has come from Krish. This is something I believe a lot of enthusiasts would like to know from Arjun. How is DTM different from open-wheelers?
So the DTM cars are GT3 cars, which are based on road cars. So I think this is cool for people that are fans of cars and have a passion for cars because you can watch your favorite brands, battle it out on track. Single-seater championships, apart from F1, are usually all made by the same manufacturer. They're heavily reliant on downforce for their grip, which makes them really fast, but very difficult to race with sometimes. Whereas in GT3, obviously the racing is really close, really aggressive, and a lot of fans like that because you see a lot of natural racing like you used to do back in the golden age in the 80s and 90s. I guess those are the main differences. In the end, the racing's all the same. You need to go the fastest, and of course, you need to have the best racecraft to win. But I would say that's the major difference.
There's another question that has come in for you, and this one is from the Menin. And he's asking, how do we make motorsport more accessible in India?
This is a tough one because I think it is getting bigger by the day, Formula One especially. But I think with myself in DTM, with the other drivers, Jehan and stuff, doing the other stuff in Formula 2, I think it is getting more and more accessible. There was a time where we couldn't watch any DTM races or Le Mans races or whatever from India, and now it's so accessible on YouTube and stuff like this. And I think what the Indian people want is somebody to follow, to have someone to look up to that can raise the flag for the country, and that's what we saw in when we had Narain Karthikeyan in Formula One. A lot of interest built in Formula One when that happened, and I think that's what India needs is somebody from the country winning in a top class of racing, and that's when the interest comes from. Of course, our DTM races are live on YouTube for everyone in India, so you can catch them free of cost. So I think everyone's doing their best to make it more accessible and make motorsport a lot bigger in the country.
Well, because you mentioned Formula One, I'm going to quickly ask you this one question that has come in, which is from Anirudh. And Anirudh is saying, is Arjun Maini again going to F1?
I'm at a different stage of my career now. I'm enjoying what I'm doing in DTM with Mercedes AMG, and for now that's what I'm focused on. You know, for me, it's been very special so far this year, and I'm not thinking about anything else for now. Of course, if an opportunity comes in the future, that's a different thing. But for now, I'm very happy where I am.
Our next question has come for you, and I'd love to know this answer as well, because this is a color that I'm so fond of. And it looks like a lot of our customers are into personalizing their cars as well. So this one has come from Neha, and Neha's asking, it would be absolutely delightful to see one of the AMGs in the lemon yellow. Is that a possibility?
Well, it's not lemon yellow, we call it sun yellow. It's available in the A35 AMG that we have right now. Of course, you have to pay 6 lakhs a bit more for that. It's on a premium, but yes, it's possible, and we can paint it and give it to the customer. Then, of course, in the future, we take this, and very soon you will not be disappointed with some yellow cars, maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, because they look so great on the road as well.
Striking.
They're very striking, absolutely. So here's another question that has come in. How can the recent B School MBA 21 grad in marketing pave their way into the luxury auto giants like Mercedes-Benz India?
Well, I think that's good question, valid question for youngsters passing out of colleges. Yeah. I would say, you know, it's the destination. If you are fixated, like I have to be in luxury automotive market. It becomes a bit more complicated. If I think the starting point has to be to have a wider search, which is to start with automotive as an industry. Okay. And then as you want to be there and be in marketing or be it in a leadership position, I think one needs to first start doing the basics right. Maybe work at some of the franchisees, some of our partners, maybe then go along. And then at the right time, we have job openings coming up. In fact, we just did a recruitment drive of at least close to 15 to 18 odd people in the last month's time. So at the right time, please apply. We also have management trainee positions. So basically, we hire from top institutes. Our HR does the hiring in a year, and maybe that's another way to get directly into Mercedes-Benz. So maybe it helps. Keep a close watch on our careers page in our Mercedes-Benz website, and we keep announcing openings and stuff there. But don't sit idle. I think what's important is do something, get into the industry, and maybe keep trying. And maybe at the right time, with the right experience, and if the opening comes up, one can definitely join the brand.
Well, Deepak, I hope that answers your question. It's the careers page on the Mercedes-Benz India page. Go check that out, and you would know when the opportunities are opening up. Arjun, this question is for you. And this is specifically come in asking about your motorsport journey, but I feel like you've kind of touched upon that. Is there something you want to add on that?
No, I think what I said before. It's been a good journey so far along, so there's nothing really to add on that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, we've got. I'll take one live question right now. All right, we have something for both of you. In this era of EVs, digitalization and sustainability, how confident does the future of performance and sports cars like the AMG look like?
Wow, I think whoever asked this question is looking into the future, and it's quite valid. First of all, sustainability is core to what we are doing. So in fact, by end of this year, all the production plants in the world will be 100% powered by green energy. And that not only includes Mercedes-Benz India, but globally. So that's a big statement. Now, apart from this, when you talk about cars, we also talk about recyclability. So here again, we are close to 85% recyclability with these cars. Target is to reach 100. So there is a lot of work happening on how can we recycle. And then last not the least is the tailpipe emissions, which is to do with what comes out of the tailpipe. There, I think we have made a lot of leaps and bounds. Of course, EVs would be the future, but I think AMG has its own plans also in this space. I cannot divulge all the details, but frankly, we have been pioneering the auto industry. We invented the car, and all I can say is we will invent it again. So that's a continuous future process, and we are fully committed to having a sustainable organization. In fact, our target picture is by 2039 we will be 100% sustainable in the overall ecosystem. It's not only about tailpipe emissions, but the overall, when I say recyclability, also using all sustainable resources, be it at the supplier end, at our end.
Yeah.
So that's already a clear statement of intent from Daimler.
Sustainability is one of the big things that I feel like everybody is talking about, and it definitely is the future.
Sure.
For all of us. So here is somebody again who's looking into the future, as you like to call it. It's really, all the questions of course are about the AMG, and you can truly see that people can't get enough of them. When is the S63 coming out?
Wow. Right now
To
we
India,
cannot,
of course.
yeah,
Yeah.
right now we cannot share any future
Okay.
product launches, but I think if you have been following us, we go all out to get the latest cars as soon as possible. So the moment there are unveils worldwide, we will try and get it as soon as possible.
All right, can we move on to the next question that I have on the prompter in front of me? Thank you. So Arjun, this one is for you, and Garima wants to know, have you, well, actually this has been answered as well. She wanted to know whether you had driven the E53 or the E63, and yes, you have. And that was an absolutely delightful experience for you. So Arjun, we have one that has come. We all heard your heartbreaking Formula 3 team radio. What was the motivation behind you to get up to this spot? And will we see you in F1? You don't need to answer the second part, you've answered that.
Yeah, it was, you know, when you're in sport, emotions run high, as everyone knows, and there were situations that weren't favoring me at that point, and so that's when this kicked off. But eventually it worked, you know, they did the engine changes and everything that needed to put me back on track. And the next weekend already, I was straight away competitive again. So in the end, it worked. But yeah, of course, it's racing, it's sports, and emotions run high as always. And that's why sometimes these things happen.
Maybe I have one question for Arjun.
Please.
Arjun, which motorsports driver do you look up to? Who's your idol, or whom do you follow?
This is tough because I grew up watching Mika Häkkinen and Michael Schumacher race, and I think those two were heroes for me. So of course Ayrton Senna you start to watch because you're an enthusiast. So I guess yes, Mika, Michael, and Ayrton Senna are my heroes.
Nice, nice. Thanks. Thanks.
Well, Arjun, it also looks like a lot of your fans who are in Germany are asking how can they meet you. It looks like you need to do like a greet and meet when you are over there.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, it would be great if some guys can come over to the race weekends, you know, and if it opens up and there's pit walks and stuff, I would say that would be the easiest time to do it. But yeah, so I guess if you can make it to the races, I think Lausitzring is allowing a set number of fans. I think 10,000 fans are allowed. So if you are in Germany, you can come and catch the race next weekend.
Well, the most obvious place that you could catch him is where you would catch him. Go to a race and you definitely will get to see him over there. And let's see, we have a lot of questions that have come in. So it looks like a lot of people also do want to watch the video that we have been talking about, where he finally reaches, when he reaches the 300 kilometers.
Okay.
So I'm just going to let all our viewers know that we will play that. We'll play it very soon. It's going to happen towards the end. So if that is something that you do want to watch, just make sure that you stay till the end of this live, because we will play that video.
Okay, that will be nice. Yeah.
Yes, we will play that video for you. Arjun, I have another question that has come in, and this is somebody who's asking that what's your favorite feature on the E63?
I think the track pace is really cool because I mean, you can just select the track that you want, and it's like an engineer, you know. So you got your sector times, you got your lap times, and you can even put your live telemetry, so you can see what you're doing with your throttle and your brakes, and all the analysis by yourself. And this was really cool. You know, I kept it on my telemetry page most of the time when I had the car, because this was really interesting. So there's so many features. You know, the rotary switch, which allows you to go from a race mode to a comfort. The launch control starts are really cool. So I think we wouldn't have enough time if I have to say all the features that I like, but for sure my favorite is the track pace.
Well, Santosh, I have the next question for you coming from Veer. And he's asking that how do you maintain to stand at that first position in luxury cars all over the world?
Well, I think the credit first goes to customers who love us actually, because the brand has so much of heritage and history, and I think we have done a lot of it to preserve that history and heritage also. And then secondly, I think our engineers back in Stuttgart, I think Gordon Wagner for his design and styling, and our engineers who's really come up. You know, the S-Class is a fine example. When I saw the earlier generation S-Class, which is referred as a V222, I always felt this is the pinnacle. I think this is the best car in the world, and now we have done it. And now when we saw the V223, which is the new S-Class, it's a completely different level. In fact, being in the automotive industry, we can't imagine how the car can reinvent itself in this format. So I think a lot of credit goes to these engineers, to these innovation, to all those R&D guys who come up with these fantastic cars and their machines. So I think that's what makes us number one. And as I said earlier, we invented the car, we continue to do so, and we will do it again. So what we will do is always, as a brand and as a team, try to give the best customer experience, be it in terms of products, sales, marketing, and try to be there. And of course, we have you as customers who love us, and that's what makes us number one.
So I have the last question, and this is actually for both of you that I would like to ask. And this is something that I also keep getting asked a lot, and people always want to know from people who are in high stress, high pressure situations. What do you do to stay calm?
Arjun or me first?
I'll take both of you because, you know, I mean, everybody's stresses, life stresses are there for everyone. And you have different kinds of stresses, and Arjun has different kinds of stresses. And then that's why we have different mechanisms and ways of handling them.
So, you know, I have this question from some of my colleagues or some people whom I know, and I say, my name is Santosh.
Yeah.
So, you know, that way in the Hindi context, it means happiness. So, sometimes tend to be cool. It's not easy always. But then there are various forms. First of all, I love what I do. I love work. In that sense, so for me, work is not stress. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if there is a situation which comes up, of course, you have to handle it. But when I go back home, my kids are the biggest de-stressing elements. I have twin boys and beautiful daughter, and then I think I am in my zone with them, and that takes away everything back, and I'm back in the nirvana zone, you can say.
It must be so difficult though to put that phone on silent mode, or do you just say, no, this is it, this is my family time, and these couple of hours are for them?
Never happens, frankly, though my kids love it, and they love and hate me for this phone being around me. But yes, I think we still find time to balance it out.
Yeah.
But if it's something it's important, it needs to be done. As I said, I love work, so it's not that it's a stress for me, the phone is around. But of course, family doesn't love it as much.
As much as
I
you
need to
love
find a bit better way to keep the phone more at a distance.
Well, Arjun, this question is for you as well. I mean, we all know what that moment we don't know what that moment must be like just before a race where you're kind of mentally preparing yourself. So what do you do to not be so stressed out? Do we have Arjun on the feed?
Yeah.
There he is. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the main thing you can do is understand what is in your control and not worry about things that is not under your control. And I think that's a big mistake, which I used to make a lot, of course, and I think a lot of people do make, is worry too much about things they have no control over. And so I would say, you know, you can overthink things a lot, and I think it's better to keep it simple, keep it calm, just focus on the process, stay in the moment, stop worrying about the future, and I think that's how that's how I deal with my stress. Everyone has to find their own way because I think no two people are the same. But yeah, that's how I do it, and it's been working for me.
Do you meditate? Do you take those few moments just before you get into that car? Like, what is that process like for you?
Well, I'm quite different. I've gone over the years. I've tried all kinds of different things, and for me personally, I realized I perform best when I just don't worry about anything else and go in the car. So I don't really have a crazy pre-performance routine or something. Of course, you do a little bit of warm up here and there, but I just walk into my car, jump into the seat, get strapped in, and I'm ready to go racing.
So basically, no pre-race rituals over here.
No, nothing crazy. Just the usual body warm up, and then send it as soon as you get in the car.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have been messaging and saying that they do want to watch the video, and this is that moment, ladies and gentlemen. So yesterday we had Arjun getting into the E53?
63.
Into the E63, and now you can take a look and see what that moment and that experience was like.
Hey guys, really exciting day here today as I get to test drive the all-new Mercedes-AMG E63S 4MATIC Plus car. In the background over there you can also see my Mercedes-AMG GT3 DTM car, and straight away you can see the similarities between the front end, the aggressive sporty look that both cars have, and I think this is really cool. Okay, so here we are in the driver's seat, in the cockpit of the car, and one of the things I look forward to most when getting into a new car is the steering wheel. And as you can see, it's a wonderful work of art here. Really good grip on the wheel, which is, perfect for a track day experience or even a relaxed Sunday lazy drive. But the really cool thing about this car is these rotaries here, which adjust the mode you want to be in. So you got your race mode, your Sport Plus, your Sport, Comfort, Individual, and Slippery. So, whatever you feel like doing that day, you got different modes and different helps from the car to help you enjoy the day you need to the most. You've also got more settings here which you can control, like the traction control to put off, your exhausts, automatic stop start, your AMG dynamic settings as well, and your suspension. So everything in this car is easily adjustable according to what you need and when you need it, and all can be done on the go while driving, which is really cool. Alright, so now let's crack the bonnet open and take a look at the heart of the beast. Okay, so here we have it. 4-liter V8 bi-turbo engine, 612 horsepower to play with a 0 to 100 in 3.4 seconds. Okay, let's have a ride in the beast. The really cool thing about this car is you can also adjust the controls on the side of the seat here to make it more narrow, and also by your leg over here. So this is really helpful on a track day, for example, when you want to take the car for a little spin, to have some more cushioning on the sides. And of course, if you want to relax, you can let it open and you got some breathing space. So this was a really cool feature. Straight away it feels really good. Very good feedback from the steering wheel. It's very direct, a lot like in the race car actually. Okay, so I'm raring to check out the power in this thing. So let's say we take it to the German Autobahn now and see what we can do. Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
Take me to the A1. Alright. Okay, so we've made our way into the A1 Autobahn without speed limits. And so we're gonna change now to sport mode, for race mode actually, for maximum performance. And we're gonna put it into manual so I can control the gear shifts. Alrighty, so let's see what we got here. Oh my god, a lot of power. We are at 250 kilometers an hour already, 260 now, 270, 280, 290. Can we hit 300 before we reach? 300! Yeah. All right, so another cool feature with the car is when you're cruising in comfort mode, you get cylinder deactivation, which means the engine runs on 4 cylinders instead of 8, and this really helps with fuel consumption. So you can save a lot of fuel by this feature, and again, it proves in a way how it's an ideal car for both sports and for luxury driving, and also can be very good on your consumption as well.
Well, there you have it, folks. That moment where Arjun hits those speeds and you can see that he's thoroughly enjoying them. Arjun, how was that moment for you?
No, it was really enjoyable because it's one thing doing it on a track, and then it's another thing doing it on a road. Of course, it's allowed in the German autobahns to not have speed limits, so that's the only time you should try to do it. But yeah, it was unbelievable, and I was really surprised. I wasn't expecting it to perform the way it did. You know, you could see from the moment I hit the power, the delivery in the video, the speeds rise up so quickly, even from 150. So yeah, it was a really cool moment for me, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, Santosh and I were just talking, we can't wait for all the circuits and the tracks in India also to open up so that we can take these babies for a good spin and realize and feel and experience what it does feel like.
True.
Well, Arjun, thank you so much for joining us. And on behalf of everyone over here and the team, especially from Mercedes-Benz India, we wish you all the best for all your upcoming races. And we can't wait for you to come back to the motherland and maybe do this live one day right over here.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. Pleasure.
And if you
Thank
would
you.
like to say something to all your fans that have tuned in right now.
No, thank you. Like I said, it's great car that I drove yesterday. I'm very happy to be a part of the Mercedes AMG family. And please do catch my race at the Lausitzring next weekend for Mercedes AMG Team Get Speed. And if you are in Germany by any chance, come and watch it on track because there are spectators allowed.
All right, thank you and stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Well, Santosh, also a passing note and a goodbye from you to everyone that has tuned in.
Well, I think it's been a great, I think the questions were nice. I can just get a sense that there are a lot of fans, a lot of questions. We try to reach them out as much as possible.
Yes.
But yes, before we end, again, we'll just request all to follow COVID appropriate behavior. I think the pandemic is still around us. These cars, we should not miss the point. Amidst all the product launches that we need to be safe.
Yeah.
That's the starting point. And
Yeah.
so please take care, stay safe. We promise from our side to bring you the best customer experiences. So thanks also for you. I think it was nice for this session and to
Thank
interact.
you. Thank you so much for having me. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Frisia. And like Santosh did say, please stay safe and be careful. And if you haven't been vaccinated, please do go and get yourselves vaccinated so that we can all live healthy lives once again. Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.